Okay, I think we're on. Yep. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Patty Gatter with the Breastfeeding Shop. Today, I've got Amanda Gorman. She is the owner of Nest Collaborative. Hi, Amanda. How are you doing today?
Hi, thanks for having me. How are you doing, Patty?
Good. Healthy. Thank goodness. Working from home, right? With the kids.
Yep, mine are back there.
The dogs are hiding, so they can't bark. I apologize in advance if that's going to happen. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, really, and it's just we'll see what happens. But I'm so glad that you could do this because part of my inspiration to connect with you was because I know we've got a lot of moms that are always asking questions and about breastfeeding and the breast pumps, and a lot of us are stuck at home. So I just really appreciate the opportunity here to feel free to ask questions, by the way, anybody viewing us. We can answer in the comments. We're going to keep rambling until we get some questions. And if we don't get to your questions now, we're going to follow up afterwards and answer them right there on the Facebook page. But Amanda, tell me about yourself. Why don't you start rambling like I'm doing?
No, I'd love to. So I am a mother of two. First and foremost, I just got out of the breastfeeding world just over a year ago. So it was not long ago. And I really founded Nest Collaborative after I realized there weren't many resources for breastfeeding women. The healthcare system is doing a fantastic job of promoting breastfeeding. And consequently, we have most women who give birth trying to do it. But I first realized in my nursing career, I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, when women would come to me with their newborns and ask me for help with breastfeeding. And I realized this was not something that I was taught in nursing school. I went to the attendings, the pediatricians, and they didn't do it, and the OBs didn't do it. And I felt like I was doing a disservice to the babies and the moms I was seeing. Shortly thereafter, I had my own baby, and all of a sudden it was personal. Because despite being a healthcare professional, I was in San Francisco at the time, which is a hugely supportive city for breastfeeding. And it was extremely difficult. It had a huge impact on my personal postpartum experience, not a positive one in terms of struggling to find the support, the stress of going back to work. And that was kind of when I really stuck my flag in the ground and said, we've got to do something. It came to me a short while thereafter that telehealth could actually be a means of connecting women with the support they need faster. And when I realized that these health insurance companies were supposed to be actually covering breastfeeding support.
That's an important piece, right? That insurance.
Then the gloves came off and we decided to really set sail and not only increase access to IBCLC support for moms from home, but get these guys to cover it. And I'm really excited. We've been doing this for 3 years and we're doing it. So we are successful in getting coverage from health plans like Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, United Healthcare, Oxford, TRICARE for military families, multi-plan, which is kind of a safety net for some of these smaller plans. So I'm really proud. We have a wonderful team of 5 IBCLCs, most of whom are also duly licensed. So we have a really diverse team. We have an IBCLC who's actually nursed twins herself. We have an IBCLC that actually has had breast surgery and is very experienced in working through moms who've had either reductions or augmentations. We have an L&D nurse, a labor and delivery nurse. We have an emergency physician assistant who's also an IBCLC. So we have a really diverse team. We're really compassionate about not only helping moms address their problem issues, but educating them from the front end, both prenatally and early after they come home from the hospital, so that we can mitigate the questions and concerns early and really prevent some of those downstream problems that are causing moms to terminate breastfeeding before they initially planned.
Do most insurances cover a visit before you've had the baby?
We have not yet had a denial due to timing prenatally. So yes, any prenatal visit that we've billed for, we've gotten reimbursed for. So
I love that. That's great because I remember when I had my first son, my first baby, it was so overwhelming in the hospital and I didn't know anything about nursing and I was kind of freaked out. So if I had had a little help beforehand, that would have been, they were great in the hospital, but just that little extra knowledge would have been fantastic.
Absolutely. And actually, that's what the research and the evidence shows, is that women who actually engage prenatally for more comprehensive education on the front end have a better chance of breastfeeding longer and particularly more exclusively. And again, a lot of our hospitals have IBCLCs on the nursing floors, but realistically, our milk doesn't come in until we're home, day 3, day 4, day 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know what those first 48 hours after delivery are like. They're a little hazy. So we might have a lot of information input coming in, but we're not really processing it, particularly because it's
Tired too, so that's why.
yes, and it's not applying at the moment. We're not hand expressing and pumping and hands on, so it's really helpful to have the prenatal support, not only for the education, but so we know exactly where to go for support when we do get home and the questions start really rolling. Another thing I wanted to mention with the prenatal option is women, just because your health plans don't know if they'll cover prenatal doesn't mean they won't. Many times we have women who've called their health plans, and unfortunately the phone agents just are not really aware of what the plan does cover. Mm-hmm. We do that for you. Nice. I know, and I do that work for you because I know what it's like trying to deal with health insurance when you're home with a newborn. So that's something we really take pride in, is that we really like to lift that off their plates.
Nice. Now, how much before you're going to have the baby would you recommend setting up a consultation?
It really depends. If mom is high risk or for any reason thinks there's a chance of her delivering early, I would say probably in the early portion of the 3rd trimester. Ideally, maybe after she's received her pump, or at least knows what kind of pump she's getting, because that's a piece that we can go ahead and tackle.
I was trying to look for questions and the volume came on my phone.
No, that's okay. Anywhere between, ideally 30 to 37 weeks would be ideal.
How would somebody go about setting up an appointment with Nest Collaborative?
Sure. So we try to make it really easy. It's a direct book from our website, and the website is mobile friendly. So you can get to it on your phone. You can get to it on a tablet, desktop. You click book now. You'll select your health plan. You'll select a time or a consultant that you prefer. Mm-hmm. And it's very similar to the process of walking into a doctor's office. You'll provide us your health insurance information, your simple demographics, and we'll go ahead and process your eligibility and verification on our end. We'll then confirm coverage and confirm your appointment. And at that point, you'll do 2 electronic forms. They're e-signed, super easy. Your privacy policy, HIPAA form, and consent, similar to a regular office, and then a history form. So you'll give us a little idea of what your pregnancy was like, what the delivery was like, what baby's history is like, and what experience, what you're experiencing now, what your biggest concerns for the visit are.
Do you need a prescription?
Oh, absolutely not. No prescription, but some plans, mostly Medicaid plans, some of them do require what we call a prior authorization. Okay. They're fairly easy in theory to get. It's just some calls and paperwork. But again, we can walk you through that. And sometimes we'll pull in your primary care provider or your OB to help us with that as well.
Oh, wow. So I know that we do the breast pumps, of course, and we are not allowed to supply a breast pump without a prescription, which I completely agree with. So that's a little easier for the lactation visits because no prescriptions required.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other note, we call ourselves Nest Collaborative because we do really want to be collaborating with your primary care providers, both your OB and your pediatrician, depending on what your issue you're experiencing, because relaying the plan and your desires back to those providers really helps everyone get on board for what your breastfeeding goals are. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, some of those providers aren't educated. They don't always know what to do. And they're mostly concerned for mom and baby's health. Mm-hmm. And they'll always recommend that baby be fed. And sometimes they'd recommend supplementing with formula, having never even asked mom, do you have any frozen breast milk? So we've had moms with freezer full of breast milk who believe that they've been told to start formula, but really it was just a lack of knowledge on the physician's part to even ask. So we really like to work together. It's an opportunity for us as healthcare professionals to teach our other healthcare professionals in the interest of the better health of both mom and baby.
So let me ask you something else. My 10 and 13-year-old would probably know this, but what stuff do I have to have? Can I do it from my phone? Can I do it from my computer? How exactly does it work?
Anything. You can use your phone, tablet, such as an iPad. You can use a desktop or a laptop. And honestly, we've been asked many times, which is better, which is more ideal. And we can say that it really depends. There's some cases where a phone is really handy to really get a good inside look at babies' mouths. Sometimes for oral anatomy issues, sometimes if you're looking for evidence of thrush or what we call or yeast infection, where other times, for instance, a new few days old baby, when mom is really working on positioning and latching, it's much easier for her to be hands-free. So either way, we always recommend mom have some sort of support person with her, whether that's her partner or another family member or friend, both to kind of assist with managing all the moving pieces, to take notes, run and fetch water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's important to have water when you're
yes.
breastfeeding.
We try to make it as easy as possible, and we love to get feedback from moms on kinks, on what we're doing well, what we need to improve on, because this is really intended to make this easier for moms.
I think it's amazing. And I love the fact, because I know after I had my babies, I did not want to leave my house, day 2 and day 3. So the fact that technology is evolving, I think is a great thing. And I think you're right at the right time, at the right place. And the Breastfeeding Shop is super excited to be working with you.
Yes, no, we are too. We appreciate, understanding the value of what we're doing. Like I said, we were a little early on the game. I'm excited to see that people are adopting and becoming more, utilizing telehealth more, becoming to really understand what its value truly means. We don't do this necessarily for convenience. We actually believe wholeheartedly that getting moms and babies access to care sooner will really have a huge impact on mom's ability to breastfeed, mom's ability to breastfeed longer, and that will both improve her health, short-term and long-term, and babies. And we're not just talking about, short-term ear infections, and immunity during the first year. We're talking cardiovascular disease for moms, reductions in cancers, both for moms and babies.
Mm-hmm.
So some big time outcomes that we could really move the needle on, and we're really excited to be a part of it.
That's great. So tomorrow we are going to be here again at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I wanted to ask you, what's the topic?
Yeah, no, so we'll have one of our IBCLCs come back again. And I think what we'd really like to address, again, with the direction of the audience, but what that postpartum experience is like for moms normally in terms of some social isolation and some, the normal postpartum anxieties that are very normal and typical. And then what they look like now with all this additional added societal anxiety, and really what moms should be focusing on, how they can make sure they're getting through their days so that they're healthy, their baby's happy, and really just self-care, which
That's important. It's so important. I remember after I had my second baby, not with my first, but with my second one, I would just, for a few weeks, I would just walk around crying. I'm like, why am I crying? Like, why, what is this? So that's fantastic. So anything else that you would like to say quick about Nest Collaborative?
No, I just thank you for having us. I just want all the moms out there to know that you are not alone. If you are experiencing something and it's unpleasant with respect to breastfeeding or the postpartum period, you are in the majority. Unfortunately, we're starting to talk about it a little bit more, but that's really the approach. We want to be approachable to moms. We want to be understanding of what they're going through, and we really want to normalize their experience. So you are not alone. This is an opportunity while we're all at home these days to get and socialize using technology. So reach out. We're here for you.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Stay healthy, and we will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye.